When you hear the word Satanism, what do you think of? Dark, brooding, gothy teens sacrificing their neighbors' cats out in the middle of the woods at night, while listening to groups like Bauhaus and Sisters of Mercy? This is the public's general consensus of what an average Satanist is, yet in reality, they're people like you and me who have been mistreated by the media and much larger organized religions. This is in due part to the satanic panic that swept the nation in the 80s, claiming that children's daycare services were really just abusing children to use them within satanic rituals. Many of the people convicted are currently serving life sentences for crimes they most likely didn't commit. Satanism is a religion founded on the idea of loving and respecting yourself and others who deserve that love. Love is one of the most intense feelings felt by man. Another is hate. Forcing yourself to feel indiscriminate towards love is very unnatural. If you force yourself to love everyone, you only lessen the feelings towards those you should actually love. This is a verse from the Satanic Bible written by Anton LaVey in 1969. Modern Satanism has been seen at the forefront of many misunderstandings and misconceptions and is routinely ostracized by other religious groups due to the fact that the media seems to spread misconceptions, and Christianity also spreads those misconceptions. Satanism has absolutely nothing to really do with Satan. There's no other way to sugarcoat it. Everyone thinks, oh, she's a Satanist, she worships the devil. Well, really, I'm worshiping the Hebrew root of the word Satan as adversary. I'm worshiping the idea of knowledge and enlightenment and pride. LaVey has been quoted with saying that Satan has been the best friend to the church. He's kept him in business all these years, and that's completely right. We feed off of fear, and Satan is seen as the author of lies and promoter of evil. But yet again, for Satanists, this isn't the case. Today, modern Satanism is, majority of the groups actually promote the true and final separation of church and state and promote diversity. Yet it still begs the question of, why are we ostracizing them? What about them is so inherently evil? What is it? I felt those misconceptions when I stood on this stage just a few weeks ago and announced that I was doing my topic on Satanism. There was a collective audible gasp, immediate backlash. Everyone was like, oh, she worships the devil. Just because she's a bit, out there on the edgier side of life, of course, I just worship the devil immediately. My dad kind of thinks that as well, but, that's none of my business. From when that happened, I've dealt with a few things on this campus because of it. I've felt every stare, I've heard every whisper about how unmoral my topic is and how horrible of a person I am. I've heard stories from friends about how people had, said that, oh, why is she able to do a talk on Satanism if you can't do one on Christianity? And yet, there, I say, yes, there's the point exactly. Misinformation, being misinformed. You can't connect the two like that, because what I'm trying to say is that there's no issue with Satanism. There's never been an issue with Satanism. We're feeding off of what the media has to say, and the media is getting their information from Christianity, since it's the most widely practiced religion. And there's nothing wrong. You believe what you want to believe. I'm not saying you shouldn't believe what you want. I personally don't really believe in anything, but that's just me. I love and respect all of you. But the point of the fact of the matter is that we're letting this media, the media kind of fuel our life and determine what we're able and not able to do. A good example of this actually would be the 1968 film Rosemary's Baby. How many of you have seen it, actually? Okay, not very many, but that's okay. So in this specific scene that I'm talking about, there's a bunch of elderly people, which are, the quote-unquote Satanists, but really they just engage in a traumatizing rape scene that's, disguised as the satanic ritual. Of course, that's actually not the ritual, and it sounds like something that came straight out of the Satanic Panic, which would have happened the movie took place more than 10 years before any allegations would have been made. Another famous scene to come out of Hollywood depicting Satanism is from the 1999 cult classic film Eyes Wide Shut by Stanley Kubrick. Anyone seen that movie? Any Kubrick fans out there? Okay, literally only 2 of you. It's okay though. So, in this scene, there's a bunch of men and women gathered into a room, and there's a priest in the center wearing all red. And they have, I can't really go too much into it, because that spoils the plot of the movie, but this whole scene is fueled on sexuality, something that's definitely not absent within Satanism, but yet completely inaccurate. I think because I'm on the topic of that, I should actually show you guys what a satanic ritual is and what it looks like. For this, will be consulting the Satanic Book of Rituals written by Anton LaVey, and I will be guiding you through a satanic baptism. So, yeah. For a moment, I can't feel it. You know what? I don't need this. In the majestic light of the undefiled wisdom, awake and enter into the Arcadian wood. Therein all lingering falsehoods shall be as dead as bark, stripped from thy trunk, where thy futile hypocrisies, known and unknown, shall no longer envelop thee in mind and body. Cast off thy white robe of lies and confront thy prince, revealed as thee once began life. Undraped and unashamed, thou mayest breathe again the first breath now as night winds freshen from the far reaches of Belial. This is our innate in the ceremony. The innate arises and would disrobe in this occasion and sits in the chair provided, his feet supported by a footstool. Though this, the black flame of Satan, the black flame referring to the candle that the priest would hold and pass 4 times under the soles of the innate's feet. Thou walkest in hell, thy senses are awakened to the joy of rebirth. The gates are flung wide, and thy passage is heralded by the deathless cries of his guardian beast. His stirring brand shall be evermore emblazoned on thy consciousness. Its fiery meaning shall make thee flee. The priest would gesture with his hands in recognition of the air of enlightenment as he pours incense over the innate. We bring thy garden, O mighty Lucifer, the fragrances around thy therein, vapors of millennia which thou hast shared with thy chosen flock are rekindled now to fill his chamber with thy presence. We toll the bell in thy name, and thereby summon the whispering voices of wonder from the regions of thine empire. Breathe of his breath, O brother of the night, and nourish thy warming brain. From the despair and agony of thy former direction, thy new path is tonight set forth by the brilliance of Lucifer's flame. His zephyrs now guide thy steps into the ultimate power which knowledge brings. The blood of those who fail is eternally bright on the jaws of death, and the hounds of night pursue their hapless quarry relentlessly. They who walk amongst us bear deceit. Verily, they shall perish in blindness. Turn thy back on the veil and despise them. Follow the black flame to unending beauty in mind and body. The priest would have earth in a container and would press the soil to the palms of the innate and then to their feet. Now, as before, when the mother of us all cushioned our paths with the pure pagan silt of the ages, she offers herself anew as thy role of earth child emerges and pervades thy being. Return for this and all of thy feet to her bosom. Reveal in the shimmering glow from the hearth of thy heart, and make thy pact of devotion with her children whose paws have tracked and learned the way of Belial. Seek and be glad, for infinity speaks only to those in self-realization who know and hear the heat of law. From the arid wastes and the bleaching bones of nothingness, thou cometh into our midst, with parched and swollen lips, with ears thirsting and words of truth. Thy quest has led thee to the shrouded and misty subterranean caves of the Leviathan. It is with this brine that all life springs forth. Within thee flows of remnant saline seas, maintaining thy kinship with the Desians of the deep, nameless creatures of dragon who, borne upon eternal tides, shall sustain thee, and they have sustained their land-dwelling brethren in eons past. Take comfort in thy briny heritage. Arise now, and wrap thyself in mantle of darkness, wherein all secrets abide. The priest would place an amulet of Baphomet upon them. I place the amulet of Baphomet upon you, and there will seal thy eternal commitment to Satan, Lord of thy chosen realm, and thy unyielding loyalty to the wondrous order of his creation. Rise thy right hand in the sign of the horns and receive this thine oath. Thou, who have forsworn the divine mindlessness, do proclaim the majesty of thine own being amongst the veils of the universe. Thou rejecteth oblivion of self and accepteth the pleasure and pain of unique existence. Thou art returned from death to life and declareth thy friendship with Lucifer, Lord of light, who is exalted as Satan. Thou receiveth the siegel of Baphomet and embraceth the black flame of cherished enlightenment. Thou hast assumed this eternal commitment of thine own violation without let or hindrance, this act being done on their own accord. I would have a sword, but I'm not allowed one. I don't know how to. Imagine this is a sword, guys. You want to kneel? Hail Satan.
Hail Satan.
That's it.